Welcome to Project Management. In this video, I will talk about organizational strategy and why project managers need to understand this concept. Organizational strategy involves the action or policies designed to achieve long-term goals. Strategy is fundamentally deciding which way the organization will go and how the organization will compete with others. Organizations use projects to convert strategy into new products or services. In other words, strategy is implemented through projects. Therefore, every project should have a clear link to the organization's strategy. For example, many modern car company strategy is to achieve shorter time to market. So car design and development projects can be done in 2 to 3 years instead of 5 to 7 years. Let's see another example. IBM Watson is a question-answering computer system that is capable of answering questions posed in natural human languages. It was named after IBM's first CEO, Thomas J. Watson. In 2011, IBM Watson competed on the television quiz show Jeopardy against former winners Brad Rutter and Ken Jennings and won the first place prize of $1 million. Watson had access to 200 million pages of local content, which is around 4 terabytes, including the full text of Wikipedia, but it was not connected to the internet during the game. Watson's 3 most probable answers to a question asked by the game show host were displayed on the TV screen during the game. Watson's main innovation was not in the creation of a new algorithm, but rather its ability to quickly execute hundreds of proven language analysis algorithms simultaneously to find the most likely correct answer. The more algorithms find the same answer independently, the higher confidence Watson has. Based on the confidence score, Watson decides whether to risk offering an answer and how much to bet. Watson consistently outperformed its human opponents, but had trouble in a few categories, notably those having short clues containing only a few words. Watch this video to see how IBM's Watson team made history. Behind the scene of the Jeopardy project, it actually took about a team of 30 researchers, engineers, and team leaders, as well as 8 universities to build IBM Watson in 3 years. In 2017, Google's AlphaGo won the board game Go against top human players. If you are interested, you can watch this great documentary on Netflix. The project of developing AlphaGo is understandable for Google because it's fundamentally a software company. But IBM is a hardware company, and the name stands for International Business Machines. So does IBM's Watson project represent a change in business strategy? It turns out the Watson project is aligned well with a strategy shift at IBM, moving from a computer hardware company to a service-based solutions company. Warren Buffett, who is one of the most successful investors in the world, bought more than $10 billion IBM stock shares the year Watson won Jeopardy. The first commercial application of IBM Watson following the game show was in the healthcare industry as a consultant, helping to find better solutions to treat cancer. Watson holds great potential to provide services to other industries as well, such as energy, finance, law enforcement, and defense. Organizational strategy is usually created by top management. Strategy is implemented through projects. Therefore, every project should have a clear link to the organization's strategy. There are 2 main reasons why project managers' understanding of strategy is important. Project managers must respond to changes with appropriate decisions about future projects and appropriate adjustments to current projects based on organizational strategy. Also, project managers who understand their organization's strategy can become effective advocates of projects aligned with their company's mission. Think of the organizational strategy as certain rules that govern a game. Project managers must follow these rules to play along. The understanding of organizational strategy can be reflected by observing how a project manager responds to delays. If the project is behind schedule, a project manager will take actions right now and authorize overtime if his or her company has a strategic focus on getting to the market early. However, in an organization that doesn't have such strategy, a project manager will accept the delay and take actions later because speed is not essential. If a project manager understands their organization's strategy, he or she will be able to demonstrate to senior management and other stakeholders how their project contributes to their firm's mission when the project is being evaluated, or when the project is competing with other projects for resources. Protection and continued support come from being aligned with corporate goals and strategy. Strategic management is a process of assessing what we are now and deciding and implementing what we intend to be in the future and how we are going to get there. Strategic management provides the theme and focus of the future direction of the organization. Strategic management involves constantly scanning of both the internal and external environments for changes and improvements to survive in a dynamic and competitive business world. These internal and external factors depend on the type of business, environment, competition, and the organizational culture. An organization must treat strategic management as a continuous, iterative process and never a one-shot effort. Strategic management requires strong links among mission, goals, objectives, strategies, and implementation. The mission gives the general purpose of the organization. The goals give global targets within the mission. The objectives give specific targets to goals. Strategies are formulated to reach objectives. Actions and tasks will be needed to finally implement strategies. There are typically 4 activities of the strategic management process, and they are outlined here. Review and define the organizational mission, set goals and objectives based on the mission, analyze and formulate strategies to reach those objectives, and lastly, implement strategies through projects. We will describe each activity in sequence. A mission statement identifies the scope of the organization in terms of its products or services. It may also identify target customers, markets, geographic domain, organizational philosophy, key technologies, public image, and contribution to society. Mission statements don't change frequently. It changes only when the nature of the whole business changes. Then a revised mission statement must be required. Watch this video about Apple's mission. It has not changed for 40 years. Its mission statement is simply make the best computers and change the world. More specific mission statements tend to give better results because of a tighter focus. Take a look at these 4 mission statements. Which ones do you think are good and which ones are not so good? The first one, provide high-tech products, is too general. It didn't mention what these products are. The second one, provide information technology services, is probably also too general. Information technology can mean almost anything that is related to computers. A rule of thumb test for a mission statement is, if the statement can be anybody's mission statement, then it's nobody's mission statement, because it will not provide the guidance and focus intended. The last 2 statements, provide hospital design services and provide energy data mining and analysis services, provide specific information about the organization's business focus. These statements are much better because they have less chance for misinterpretation than the first 2. After we talked about missions, now let's talk about goals and objectives. Goals and objectives translate the organization's mission into more specific, concrete, and measurable terms. There's a smart way to set up the goals. S means be specific. M means measurable. A means achievable or attainable. Sometimes it also means assignable. Make the objective assignable to one person for completion. R means realistic or relevant. The goal should be done realistically with available resources. When it means relevant, the goal should be relevant to the overall mission of the organization. T means timely. It states when the objective can be achieved. Watch this video to see an example and learn more about how to set SMART goals. After setting the goals and objectives, the next step of the strategic management process is to formulate strategies. You may use a to-do list to answer the question of what needs to be done to reach the SMART goals and objectives we just created. The next step is an assessment of the internal and external environments. The SWOT analysis method can be used for this purpose. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths and weaknesses are relevant to internal environment. Opportunities and threats are relevant to the external environment. Strengths and opportunities are helpful for achieving the objectives. Weaknesses and threats are harmful for achieving the objectives. Examples of internal strengths could be core competencies of the organization such as patents, unique products, high-quality products, management talents, low debt, loyal dealer networks, and so on. The weaknesses could be the lack of one or more of these core competencies. Project managers can somehow control and make changes of these internal factors to enhance the strengths and reduce the weaknesses. Examples of external opportunities include increasing demand, new emerging markets, a fast-growing economy, favorable exchange rates, and government regulation, and so on. The threats could be the downward trend of any of these factors. Project managers usually have little power to influence external environmental factors because these are driving forces for change in a much bigger scale than just one organization. But there are some exceptions. Sometimes opportunities and threats could be the flip sides of each other. That means a threat can be perceived as an opportunity or vice versa. Here is an example. A shoe merchant sent his two sons to a remote island to investigate the shoe market. After 1 week, the first son called back, "Hi Dad, the natives here don't wear shoes. There is no market here. I'm coming home." After another week, the second son called back, "Dad, the natives don't wear shoes. I've never seen such a big potential market. We're gonna make a fortune here." So you can see that it's still possible to influence the external environment through cultivating the natives and changing the remote island to an emerging market. Another example is the Crude movie. If you show them the needs for shoes, no matter whether it's because they can avoid getting their feet hurt when walking over the harsh landscape, or just because they are too darn cute, they will become your loyal customers. Based on the SWOT analysis results, strategies about what needs to be done to reach objectives will be formulated. The final step of the strategic management process is the actual implementation of the strategies through projects. Implementation answers the question of how strategies will be realized given available resources. The way a project is implemented to support strategy will depend on how an organization is structured. A large and complex project needs a dedicated team to work on it full-time. A small or simple project may be done by team members who are sharing the time with other projects. Completing actions and tasks requires appropriate allocation of resources like funds, people, management talents, technological skills, and equipment. Planning and control are necessary to ensure strategies are effectively performed. The project manager also needs to motivate project contributors to achieve project success. formulating strategy may range about 20% of management's effort, while determining how strategy will be implemented might consume 80%. But without implementation, project success is impossible. To sum up, in this video, we talked about why it is important for project managers to understand their organization's strategy. We also talked about the 4 major activities of the strategic management process. This is Wang, and I'll see you in the next video.